We got to check out some of these companies, particularly NVIDIA. As whoa, we got a minute before this market open. We had a sell-off, like it's a sell-off right before the market open. It was looking like we were headed up to 180. Then boom, the drop all the way down to 177. I'm going to look at the S&P 500 now. As we got about 30 seconds left before the market open. Hold up. Let me make sure everything is straight. No. Boom. Yeah, we were getting ready. We were getting ready to head up to 180. Then we had this basically $1.50 drop. Okay, let me get over here. But yeah, we was about to get ready to go to 180, bro. And it seemed like right before the market opened, we had a dump. Let's see. We had a dump right before that market opened. Let's see. Yeah, we had a dump right before the market opened. Let's see. Okay, now we're trying to recover a little bit back to right above 178. Let's see what the S&P 500 is doing. Well, let's see, S&P 500 is trying to cook. Palantir, a good move on up. AMD. Yeah, NVIDIA had that sell-off at the end, right before the market opened, right there at the end of pre-market. NVIDIA had a sell-off all the way down to 177.63. Google, Apple. Wow. I didn't expect that to happen. Let's see. Now we're going to watch this little ceremony that Trump had early this morning. This grand opening of this golf course, which golf is a very, very refreshing game to play. Yeah, I like playing golf. Clears your mind, low impact. Yeah, I like golf. It's a low impact. I don't even really look at golf as a sport, to be honest. It's just some real refreshing for the mental. And you can have good conversations playing golf too. So that's what I like about golf. A lot of business deals are made on the golf course. Yeah, I like golf. So we're going to watch this early this morning. I'm trying to get things ready to rock and roll. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Hit the like button as you tap in. Hit the like button as you tap in. Let's see. I was thinking that NVIDIA was going to hit that 180 mark. It still might, but we had a little sell-off this morning. So, trying to get this day started. Hope y'all having a good morning. Let me check out NVIDIA again before I get to going. Still hanging around 178. Man, I sure was thinking it was going to be at around 180 by now. Because when I woke up this morning, it was right around 179.60. So I was like, man, we should go above 180 today. That's what I was thinking. This morning, I was like, I was thinking the video was going to be above this 180. So I got to put this as strong resistance right here at this 179.65. Not to say we won't get above that 180, but I'm thinking soon we should be above the 180. I thought it was going to happen before the market opened, but we had a pullback, some selling off. That sell-off took us all the way down to here, which I got to make this as the support down to here. I got to make that as the support. So good morning. Hit the like button as you coming in. I'm your host, the one only Stock Sniper. We're watching this stock market this morning. We're seeing what the news is as far as what's going on around the world. Well, we did have that shooting in New York. So we got to pray for the people that lost their lives in New York. The guy just started shooting. I think it was in Manhattan. So we're going to cover that as well as the rest of the stock market. I am watching NVIDIA, really, really tough. I am watching, what else I'm watching? I'm watching the S&P 500. I'm watching Google and Apple. I'm watching Peloton. And I'm watching the new kid on the block. Where is he at? NVTS. I'm watching NVTS. We're waiting on a pullback, some type of pullback on NVTS. And then we're going to pull the trigger on NVTS for a long-term investment. Add this to the portfolio. Trying to see what we're going to wait. I think we're going to wait till we get around back up under $8. Yeah. Back up under $8. So we're going to put a support line right at $8. So I'm waiting on, because see, I don't like to buy at these highs on these companies. I like to wait on a pullback. So this NVTS, which is a AI company that is stamped basically by NVIDIA. So I'm waiting on the pullback to right around $8, to right here. Then we're going to start dollar cost averaging in on NVTS, right at $8 a share for a long-term hold. So that's the next kid on the block that we're going to add to the portfolio, which is NVTS. Okay. Okay, NVIDIA, okay. What a run up on NVIDIA. Back above, we're trying to get above 179. See, that's one thing that I love about NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA moves. NVIDIA moves. So I'm still believing that we're going to break that 180 today. Let's see what's going to happen. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking we're going to hit this 180 on NVIDIA today. Look at AMD. AMD pumping, trying to get up to 178.50. We got what else? Palantir. So NVIDIA is trying to make that move back above 180. So let me get back over here and get back to the ceremony. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. We're watching this stock market. We're paying attention to the news of what's going on in the world, because what's going on in the world and what's going on in the economy is very, very important, especially what is going on with this president. No matter what side of the fence you on, whatever president that's in office, you want them to succeed. You want the economy to exceed. You want these businesses to exceed, especially if you are invested into the stock market. So let's go.
And CEO Jim Savage. From the world of golf, we have, as you just heard, Guy Kinning, CEO of DP World Tour, Rob Maxfield, CEO of the PGA of Great Britain, Ryan Howsam, founder and CEO of Staysure Group and principal owner of the Legends Tour, and Phil Harrison, the CEO of the Legends Tour. Of course, the events being staged today and over the next 2 weeks at Trump International Golf Scotland would not happen without the tremendous support of sponsors.
Wait, I'm gonna move over here. We got to see what's going on with this.
For the safety precautions that they've put in place, even a safe bathroom where you can lock it down with a bulletproof door. Some of the staffers use that.
We got to shoot. We got to watch this about the mass shooting, because people lost their lives out there in New York. I got to cover this before we get back to the golf ceremony.
Unfortunate that during these days and times, active shooter drills are taking place all across the country, and Runin Management did their job of clearly having those active shooter drills, and the staffers who were in the building were able to utilize some of the safe rooms, and I believe it played a great role in saving lives of some of the staffers. It was after 6 p.m., and so many people were no longer in the office, but he appeared to have gone to the wrong floor and due to the wrong elevator bank, where you can see on the front desk which elevator bank was the NFL, but he did not go to that bank.
Okay, so it sounds like he did go to the wrong floor. You know, you talked about it, a history of mental illness. You've been in touch with your partners out there in the Nevada area, where apparently he had a concealed carry permit. If this is an individual who had some history of mental illness and then is able to get this permit and then a high-powered rifle, I mean, those things don't seem like they're adding up here, with this history of mental problems and then being able to get this high-powered rifle.
And it harms cities like New York. When you look at the fact we have been on a very focused action of removing illegal guns off our streets, over close to 23,000. Here you have a person that is able to drive from an area where the carry laws are more lax and enter our city and have in possession of an automatic weapon of this magnitude. That is the battle that we've had as New Yorkers, that we had to actually not only police our city, but police the neighboring states that allow more lax gun laws, and they enter our city. He drove from Las Vegas, as you stated, to come to New York to do harm.
Mayor, were there any warning signs that he was on his way here? I know New York is always the target, and that our police officers thwart a lot of possible attacks in this city. Yeah. Do we have any indication that he was on the radar of our police officers?
Hello, Don. How you doing? Appreciate you for joining.
No, not at all. And our partners from federal agencies, they were here to assist as well. And there were no indications at all that he was coming to New York to create any harm. And we understand that New Yorkers are shaken at this time, and you will see a visible presence of our critical response teams that will be out at major shopping areas, but we don't believe that there are any other gunmen that was participating in this action. He's a lone gunman, but at a high level of abundance for caution, we're going to make sure that we do have our critical response team at our shopping locations and major tourist attractions.
Mayor, 911 calls. This guy double parked his car on Park Avenue and got out of the car with a rifle.
High-powered rifle, absolutely.
A high-powered rifle. I know New Yorkers are rushing to get home. Sometimes they're looking at their phone. Were there 911 calls that alerted, that gave the police a heads up to get to the scene right away?
Yes, there were several calls made. Over 40 calls were made. And, we announced last week about the partnership with Citizen Apps. I want to thank them. We were able to get communications out to New Yorkers. It was a powerful tool to let New Yorkers know, particularly those who were in the buildings, with push notifications to stay into the building, shelter in place until we could do a full sweep of the entire building. And, there's a personal note for me. I was a mailroom employee in the building 345.
Man, I mean, I'm sorry. If you're out and you're walking around with a rifle like that, just walking, I believe that at some point, a person that also is, out, that's able to carry a weapon should be able to take these type of people out, bro. Because that'll stop, in my opinion, that'll stop a lot of these shootings. If I'm able to carry my weapon and it's not out showing, and all of a sudden I see somebody walking with their rifle out, looking like they finna go get to something, as a citizen, I should be able to shoot him down. That's what we coming to in America, guys. Also, they need to, these background checks, they got to get stiff. They got to get real strict as far as people that has mental health issues already documented. People that have mental illness issues already documented should be automatically red flagged. Automatically red flag. I mean automatic. Because these shootings are starting to happen a whole lot.
Park Avenue as a young child, and walking through the building and seeing the blood and the number of innocent people who were shot, it just brought me back to a full circle moment of some place that I worked as a young man.
Mr. Mayor, we don't have a lot of time left. I know you have a busy morning, but gun violence in the United States is a serious problem. New York City and Midtown, these skyscrapers, we really haven't seen some of the problems that we've seen in other parts of the country, but now we have this guy. We have the Mangione situation from last year targeting a corporate individual. Are you worried that there could be a copycat?
You always focus on copycats, and that's why we're going to make sure we have our uniform assets that are out at high target areas, but also there will be assets that you're not going to see where officers are going to be there to keep a close watch. And we really have to thank all of our corporate partners. We meet with our corporate partners around public safety, and they have taken great strides in making sure that they harden their structures and their buildings, and during these trainings, it saves lives.
Mayor, before we go, what are we doing? What is the city doing for Officer Islam's family?
One thing about the New York City Police Department, we consider our fellow officers, both retired and active, as part of a family, and the city is going to be here to ensure they get the support.
Because if you walking around with your gun in public, you are a risk, a high risk. If I walk outside and I got my gun down and I'm just walking around the public, I'm looking to get into something. At that point, I am a high risk. The question is, as a civilian, can another civilian take me out if I'm doing that? That's the question. In my opinion, if we have civilians out packing their gun, not being seen, and all of a sudden you got some idiot walking around public with his gun out, automatically that should let everybody know he's up to no good, bro. If you got your gun out walking around, or you out in public with a knife out, you are a threat to the public. At that point, the civilians gonna have to intervene to stop this threat. That's the only way these mass shootings are gonna go down. Because right now, if we're in public and you see somebody walking with a gun like that guy, either the people gonna leave. But if you out in public and it's okay for a civilian to take care of his business with this threat, these mass shootings will go down, bro. We got to stop them before they happen, and that's the only way you're going to be able to stop it.
Support that they deserve at this very difficult.
And it has to be put in public that, hey, civilians, you have a right. If somebody is doing that, that is a risk. You have the right to take them out. And everybody needs to know that. And I think that with that approach, yeah, these shootings will stop. That's what I think.
Difficult time.
Mayor Adams, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate you talking to New Yorkers and basically, comforting them during a time everybody was very, very nervous yesterday.
All right, thank you to our Fox 5 New York team as we've been checking in here with them as we continue to cover this story. This post from Mayor Eric Adams saying, as a mark of respect for the memory of NYPD officer Diderol Islam, who died in the line of duty, and the multiple victims of the mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan at 345 Park Avenue yesterday, I've ordered all flags on all city buildings and stationary flag staffs throughout the 5 boroughs to be lowered to half staff until further notice.
I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you think about that plan that I just put down. What I just said. I mean, if you out in public and you're walking around with your gun out, you are a risk. You are a risk. And that should give a civilian permission and the authority to take you out. That right there would stop this right then and there. That's what I think.
We're going to go away for a break here on Live Now from Fox. When we come back, checking in with our Fox 5 New York team again. That's just 2 minutes, as we can see on the screen. Marching across this public plaza into the building. And I also did want to share this footage here, this still that we do have. And as you look at this.
Now he's walking around with a high power rifle. He's walking around straight up threat, like he up to no good. Now, if it's a civilian somewhere around there that peeps that got his gun, could have just shot him in the head and took him out right there. Boom. Nobody gets killed but him. If you're walking around like that, These people that are in the background, I guess those are officers right there that's trying to come towards him. They should be shooting him right now. They should be taking him out right now. He's up to no good, bro. He's walking in public with bad intentions. That right there. You see a lot of people in public with the license to carry. If you got the license to carry, you should have the license. You should have the authority to take a threat out, which is this. Now, if one of those civilians would have just took him out right there, guess what? Nobody gets killed. The officer is alive. The other people that got killed. And that will right there send a message to all these lunatics, bro. That will send a message to all these lunatics. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel as you coming in. Right there, somebody should have took him out. Right then and there. There's no way he's walking up with that rifle without a carry or worry in the world. He's not even looking behind him. He's looking straight forward to get to wherever he tried to get to. Whatever reason why whatever he had on his mind, he's trying to get to that target. He's not worried about nobody else. He's not worried about those people out here. Somebody's carrying a weapon, bro. Somewhere out there, right there, they're carrying a weapon. Somebody was supposed to have taken this guy out right then and there. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you agree with what I just said. Somebody should have took him out ahead of time, bro. Somebody should have took him out.
I mean, is this surprising to you? Because Park Avenue is a nice area of Manhattan. There's a lot of people around there. Was this as shocking to you that something like this could have occurred in this area of Manhattan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty big esplanade right there, and you can see the wide open space. And for someone to be walking with what at that time we thought was an AR-15 rifle, walking there, I couldn't believe it when I saw that photograph. I was coming down Park Avenue, and I would have to say probably 30 seconds to a minute before that gunman got out of his car. Now that we know that he was in a parked car, I probably passed that parked car maybe 30 seconds or a minute before, because right before I got to 50th Street, heading towards Grand Central Station, that's when people started running and heard, saying gunshots and shooter and all that. So if I stayed at work 5 minutes later, that could have been, it could have been a whole different situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have this live look that we've been showing our viewers all morning of the scene there this morning. Now, as I said, you were walking to the train home when people started rushing out of the building. So given that this is on your commute, have you passed by the scene this morning? What does it look like right now?
I didn't, because I was getting in early I was on Good Day as well. So I took the subway up, but I will pass by it on the way home for sure.
I did also want to share here, we do have some reaction here from President Trump that I was sharing a little bit earlier today. He says, I've been briefed on the tragic shooting that took place in Manhattan, a place that I know and I love. I trust our law enforcement agencies to get to the bottom of why this crazed lunatic committed such a senseless act of violence. And I wanted to ask you, Matt, I'm not exactly sure how long you have been living and working in Manhattan, but as someone who does live there now, you touched on this a little bit, but in the news we cover this sadly quite frequently. To have seen something like this happen, I mean, what was going through your head and how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I've been in the city for 24 years. I've been at Fox for 24 years. And Christy, I can tell you that, I kind of prided myself thinking that I had my head on a swivel at all times and just being aware. It took me by surprise that when that rush of people were happening, and I think partly because I was in my own world with the AirPods, but just for being on such a busy street and for it actually to play out the way that it played out, it seemed very surreal and shocking. And for all the bad, and I say in the news business, for all the bad stuff that we cover, there's also an overwhelming good that's there too. And I saw that good with all the police officers that showed up. At first there were a few, but then quickly after that, there were hundreds of police officers that were willing to put themselves in harm's way for all of us. So that's the good and bad about New York.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to join us once again. We are so glad you are safe, and thank you for sharing with us that video you took there, as well as your perspective on all of this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. And also, I did want to pop up this image again for our viewers here. Once again, this is a live look. In just a matter of moments here, we can expect this bunting ceremony for the officer who was killed in this shooting, Officer Islam, to get underway here. They're going to be honoring his life. We're still awaiting a time on when that is going to get underway here, but we will bring it to you on live now from Fox once that does get underway there. In the meantime, we do have some other headlines that we wanted to get to here. Of course, we're following President Trump as well, and I did want to share this footage here with you. As we do know, the president returning home today to the United States. Yesterday, he used his luxury golf course on.
Look at Trump practicing his golf swing.
As President Trump that I did want to share with you in case you weren't awake bright and early this morning. Let's head over there.
I got to give it to him. He got a nice swing.
Everybody, what started as truly a passion project for my father, 2007,
got a
2009,
nice
we
swing
started
on
the
it.
old course. He had one goal,
Trump.
and that's to build the greatest 18 holes anywhere in the world. And I saw him, and I watched him at the time. He put every ounce of his heart and his soul and his effort into finding the best piece of land, to creating the greatest property, to build the greatest clubhouse, to shape the dunes and build something that's truly, truly exceptional. And he went off to do larger things, and that's save the free world, save the United States of America. And I can just tell you on behalf of our entire family, on behalf of every single one of us in the Trump organization, we wanted to continue his legacy. And so like he did in 2009, I've put every single ounce of my heart and soul into grading a compliment to the first course. We wanted this to be the greatest 36 holes anywhere on earth, and there's no question that that's been achieved. This course is remarkable. This course, you will feel our heart and soul in it. You will feel our passion. You will feel that, nothing was left. Nothing was left out. We had an unlimited budget, and we exceeded it. This was his Mona Lisa. And my father's always said, some people really appreciate the painting on the wall, the beautiful, and he never did, right? For him, creating this, right? These beautiful, sculpting the dunes, sculpting the land, that was always his painting. And so I really hope today that we honor the greatest man I know, our best friend, a person who's led this company for 30 years and now leads the most powerful nation in the world and is doing a hell of a job. I hope in his absence, we really honored him today, and it's an incredible honor to have him out here. Before I bring him to the stage, I want to bring our greens crew, because without Steve and our guys on the ground, this would not happen. Steve, come down here. This team is the absolute best anywhere. Their attention to detail, they are more meticulous than any team that you'll ever meet. And that's also true of the construction team who put this together with Amy, with Easy, and with Jamie, and with Claire, and with Christian, and with also the famous Dr. Martin Ebert. It was a team of the best people in the entire world. And again, when you get out there, you're going to see something that's truly second to none. So without further ado, we owe this course to a remarkable person, a remarkable man, a person that we all love incredibly much. And he's going to come down here, and we are going to cut this beautiful ribbon. And we're proud of him. Our family's proud of him. Our nation's proud of him. I think the entire world is proud of him. And I think he's going to be incredibly proud of this amazing masterpiece that we created here today. So, the President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so President Trump, he does take a minute here to get up there to speak, but he will be stepping up there shortly, so we are going to continue on this. Again, this was just a bit earlier this morning in Aberdeen, Scotland. There comes the president.
All right, President, when you get up here, bro, don't talk about Biden. Don't talk about the election. Talk about growth and development. I don't want to hear about Biden. I don't want to hear about the election. I want to hear about growth and development.
Well, that is a beautiful sound, and we want to thank them. What talent. And you have young ones and you have a little older ones, and they're going to be, the young ones are going to be doing that for 60 years, just like the little older ones are doing. And I want to thank them very much. Great group. Heard them last night. I also want to thank your First Minister who's here. John, would you stand up? John Swinney, who's a terrific guy and loves golf and loves the people of this country. And we really appreciate it. You're really very special.
Hello, Catherine. How you doing? Hello, Frank. How you doing? Appreciate y'all for joining me.
Been truly a labor of love for him. And we started with a beautiful piece of land, but we made it much more beautiful. And the area has given us, they've really welcomed us. If you remember at the beginning, it wasn't quite a welcome.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 150 people in the building. We need all 150 people to hit that like button.
We have the first course, which we call the old course, and the second course, which we call the new course, because that's the best way to describe. Anything else gets too complicated. They don't know which is which, but they know the old and the new, and it's going to be something very special. And the big question is, which is going to be better, if there's such a thing, because we've had such great ratings on the first. I don't know if you can match them on the second, but the second should be every bit as good. The land is of equal quality right on the North Sea, and it's going to be really, it's going to be great. I look forward to playing it today. We'll play it very quickly, and then I go back to D.C., and we put out fires all over the world. We did one yesterday. As you know, we stopped a war, but we've stopped about 5 wars. So that's much more important than playing golf. As much as I like it, it's much more important. I want to just thank Sarah Malone for having been with us right from the beginning. She was young and not experienced. Now she's still young and very experienced. So I just want to thank you. And my and my son Don for being with us all the way. He's always been with us, and he's a great guy. And he's got some great golfers in the family, Kai, and he's got one right over there, that little one. She may be one of the most talented in the whole family. She's something special, right? So that's Chloe. You'll be reading about her someday, walking down the 18th hole of some great course, I think, right? She's very talented, actually. So I just want to thank everybody. This has been an unbelievable development. The land, they said it couldn't get zoned. It was an impossibility. And Sean Connery said, let the bloody bloke build his golf course. Once he said that, everything came into line. John and I were talking about it last night. Everything came into line. I want to thank, by the way, the Prime Minister was here last night and was really very gracious and loves the place, loves the area. So I just want to thank him very much for coming. And we gave him a little preview, and it was really very nice. And we just signed a very big deal, as you know, with the European Union, but also with the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom was a week before, and it's a very big deal and a great deal for the country, and it's a great deal for everybody. So I just want to thank him and everybody that worked so hard on it. They've been trying to get it done for 12 years. We got it done. So somebody did a good job. So I just
The poll for today: will Trump bring up Biden? 150 people, please go vote. Will Trump bring up Biden?
She was fantastic, and Ron and Larry, thank you very much, and everybody. We just had tremendous support from everybody, especially the family. These are very hard to build, and you won't see them built anymore. You'll probably never see another course built in the dunes, not dunes like this. To the groundskeepers who I know so well from number one, the first thing I said, which is better, the old or the new? And they were unable to give me an answer. They actually meant it. But great job you've done with your course superintendent, who's been here for a long time. And we just want to thank you. And to all of our friends, to all of our great friends, thank you very much. So I'll be playing quickly, and then I'll be heading back. And I look forward to that, but I really look forward to playing. So thank you, everybody, and thank you to the media. The media's been terrific, believe it or not. I didn't use the word fake news one time, not one time. Today they're not fake news. Today they're wonderful news. But I just want to thank you. They've treated us really well, and they respect what we've done really at a level that you rarely see nowadays. So I really very much appreciate it. And we're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. Thank you, all of the dignitaries and all of my friends. It's going to be a special day, and it's going to be a special year, and it's going to be a special decade. And we're going to make all of our countries strong and great and really wonderful again. And that's happening, and it's happening very fast. And we love Scotland. You know, my mother was born here, and she loved it. She would come back here religiously once a year during the summers with my sister Marianne and sometimes my sister Elizabeth, but they would come here religiously. And Stornoway, that's serious Scotland, by the way. There's no doubt about that. So the Isle of Lewis, I want to just thank everybody and have a good time today. Play well, enjoy yourselves, and many, many years. We'll see each other many, many years. Thank you very much, everybody.
And once again, that is some video there of President Trump a bit earlier this morning. He opened a new golf course bearing his name in Scotland today, capping a 5-day foreign trip designed to promote his family's luxury properties and also to play golf there. So once again, that was President Trump just a short time ago. He is set to return to the White House a little bit later tonight. I did want to share with you a live look that we are just getting into our newsroom right now. In just a short amount of time, we're going to be hearing from HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as they're going to be.
I got to admit, though, Trump got a good golf swing. I hope my golf swing looks like that when I get 74, however old. I think he's 74. How old is Donald Trump? I hope my swing is that good at that age. 79, God dang. Trump's 79 years old, guys. "79 years old. For real. Yeah, he got a good looking golf swing, guys. To be 79 years old. Let's see when he turns 80. I should have looked at his birthday. He just turned 79. I should have known that. That was the 250th birthday of the Army. He just had a birthday. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Shout out to the Army vets out there. Shout out to everybody in the military. Shout out to our soldiers. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, chat. We got 150 people in the building. The best stick in his golf bag is his pencil. Hello, Edward. How you doing? Yeah, I just remembered it. Nintendo. Yeah. He had a big parade for his birthday. Yeah, but man, he has a nice golf swing to be that old. Gosh. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Now let's go over here. Now I'm about to see About to see what this stock market is doing while we in this bit, while we here. I thought Nvidia was gonna be at 180 by now, but we're having, really soft day right now. So let me get over here to AMD. AMD is still showing upside. What's up with the S&P 500? Okay, we still holding up. Everything's still good. Let's see what Google is up to. Google's trying to get back up there to that 194.50 mark. Shout out to Google and YouTube. Let's see what Bitcoin is up to. Still holding above 118. We're still right where we need to be, which is great. All right, now let's get back over here. Let me see what the comment section is talking about. Wait, what just happened? Megan McCarthy sent floating hearts for 10 Jews. Hold on a second. I appreciate you, Megan McCarthy. I appreciate you. Let's see. Sending that flowering heart. Megan McCarthy. May God bless you and your family. Appreciate you, appreciate you. Okay, let's get back to this content. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel. We really appreciate that. Thank you. May God bless you and your family. Hello, Linda. How you doing? Appreciate you for joining the stream. Thank you for coming. Don, you're muted. No, I shouldn't be muted. Don, you should be able to hear me. Oh, wait.
For the next few years. Part of the reason why the big tech companies are building these huge data centers to fund AI, and they are calling on more energy. They're even re-upping nuclear plants that were closed down.
Okay, I see what the problem was. Thank you, Don.
Energy demand.
Thank you.
That removing these tax credits and taking clean energy, solar, wind, cheaper off the table, that means electric bills now are likely to rise. And we don't need that in Florida. People don't deserve that. They deserve lower electric bills. They deserve greater access to cleaner, cheaper energy. And that's what we're fighting for. But we want all of our neighbors to know why, as TECO, Duke, and FP&L ask for higher rate increases and your electric bills go up. Part of the reason is because of the big ugly bill and taking away the tax credits you were enjoying for cleaner, cheaper energy. One of the stars of clean energy and solar across the Tampa Bay area is Steve Rutherford, a former special operations officer who has now thrown all of his skill and energy into Tampa Bay Solar. So Steve, tell us how it's going and what people are likely to see over the next few months.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Appreciate it. I'm Steve Rutherford, owner and president of Tampa Bay Solar. We've been in business since 2012, 13 years. We've got over 40 employees. 30% of those employees are veterans who have been working for our company for more than 5 years alone. We've been a company that has been a high quality, go-to company for the city of Tampa and the greater area around Florida. We've got over 2,000 customers already that we've installed. We've helped relieve their electric bills. Some of them have completely gotten rid of their electric bills. And it's sad to see, and I hate to call this day a bit of a funeral. It's a bit of a funeral for the industry. We've been fighting for this tax credit that has enabled many folks here in the state of Florida to go from 1% penetration into the state into 5% of what it is today in the state of Florida. And if anybody can do the numbers there, 5% is not really a big penetration. It's taken us over 12 years to be able to get there. And I can tell you it's going to take a lot more considering what's happening with this tax bill to be able to further solar here in the state of Florida. But before I get a little further into this, I want to thank Congresswoman Castor. She has been an author, a supporter, a staunch, a trooper for the solar industry, and without her, it's more than likely that this would have gone away years ago. So we're grateful for the years that you've given us to benefit from the tax credits that we've had. The city, we were thankful to be one of the contractors selected to put solar here on this building called Loretta Ingram, which I believe was the city's first direct pay project that they were able to get money back from. And if I understand Carl, I think he used it for the next project that was coming up. So the city was moving in a great direction, and Congresswoman had a tremendous amount to do with that, because I believe she was one of the authors of this bill from the Inflation Reduction Act. So I cannot thank her enough, and I cannot stress how dreadful it is to know that this industry is going to suffer in the coming months. Right now, we're on a bit of a sugar high. Since the bill was destroyed, since the bill destroyed the industry and destroyed the tax credit, we've seen a rush, an influx of customers like we've never seen. I was telling the reporter earlier that I've gotten 100 customers in the last month. In the first 4 months of this whole year, I didn't get 100 customers at all. So just in the last several weeks, I've seen an influx of customers. It is unfortunate, however, because the industry does not move at that pace. We cannot just ramp up installers. Installers are highly trained individuals. And I would advise folks, if you have folks that are ramping up that quickly, it's likely you're going to lose some of the quality that goes with it. So make sure that if you're looking out for companies to do your install in the next several months, get it in before the December 31st. You look at the quality, you look at the reports of those companies, and make sure that you're getting a highly qualified, capable company to do that. We have 400 companies here in the state of Florida that have been working in this industry, have grown in this industry. As the Congresswoman has pointed out, there's been over $12 billion invested. That's no chump change when it comes. The tax benefits that have come with solar have been reinvested back in the communities. That 30% tax credit does not go to Washington, D.C. That tax credit has come back to cities of Tampa, Sarasota, and other folks here in the state of Florida. So that money is now going to be going into someone else's pocket for them to do whatever they want, whether it's getting rid of migrants or whatever they're going to focus on, but it's not going to be invested in the customer's dollar. As the Congresswoman has also pointed out, the customers' electric bills are going to be going up. And you're going to have less and less incentive to be able to do that. Most of our customers with this tax credit have been able to pay off their systems in less than 10 years. That number is going to go up immensely, and customers are going to have a hard time making a choice between 15 years for a solar system payoff versus 20 years of the life expectancy that they may expect to be paying a lease back. So those are the trade-offs we're going to see, and I can see that we're going to see a drastic reduction in employment for our folks, and folks are going to be looking for other opportunities. So there's a lot more to be said here, but I'm going to leave the floor open to Congresswoman if you want to introduce the next speaker.
Yeah. All right, once again, you're taking a live look there in Tampa, Florida, as we're listening into Representative Kathy Castor speaking with local solar contractors on Go Solar tax credits. We'll continue that there in just a moment. Here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to go away for another break because we are still keeping an eye on this live.
Wow. Solar tax credit. He said that their bills are going to go up. Appreciate y'all for joining me. We waiting on JFK to talk about the opioid issues. Appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Everybody that's been rocking with the show. Appreciate you, everybody that's supporting the show. We really appreciate you. We're trying to let the world know what's going on. You know, it's a lot of smart people that comes in this chat. So, you know, I hope a lot of people are getting helped. Hope a lot of people are learning some type of information as we keep it going. Hope y'all having a great morning, chat. I'm having a pretty good morning myself as we come up on 9:30. The poll, 58 people voted. Will Trump bring up Biden? He didn't bring his name up today, guys. So I think I'm going to end that poll. The no's were right. He didn't bring up Biden. Well, he didn't have enough time, you know, to bring up Biden, really. But appreciate y'all for voting. The 59 people that did vote, we appreciate you for voting. Boom. That ended the poll. I might do another poll. I don't know yet. But yeah, I want to get a little bit more information about that shooter. That was wild, man. So that's wild. So we got to pray for the victims. We got to pray for the families of the victims and the families of that cop. Hey, quiet one. How you doing? Appreciate you for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. And we rocking and rolling. But that attack was on the NFL headquarters. I just found that out. Man, we got a football game Thursday. So football season is back. So we got 2 more days before the first preseason football game comes on, which is great news. We're waiting on football to come back and play. Y'all excited about football, guys? Quiet one. What shooter? What happened? Some guy went to Manhattan, New York, and he shot a few people. They say he was trying to get to the NFL headquarters. He killed the cop and like four other people. So we got to pray for those people that was involved. Okay, we're back.
Many people have been talking about solar for years. A lot of folks have been sitting on the fence. A lot of folks have said they're going to do it, have warned they're going to do it, have promised they're going to do it, and now they're not going to get a chance in 3 months to be able to do it. So I think really that sums it up for our company. Bill, you got anything more?
Yeah, I think Steve's absolutely right. There is it's a known thing that, like, if you say, oh, this sale ends Friday, or whatever, all of a sudden everybody comes out of the woodwork because they want to get that deal. So I think that's a big part of it. But I think the bigger issue is that it creates a volatility in the market. It creates a volatility in the industry, which really in the long term is not good for the healthy development of the industry, right? I mean, we have, as Congresswoman Castor mentioned, 12 to 14,000 direct jobs in the solar industry here in Florida, and we're not supporting those people the way we should be, right? They have good paying, high skilled jobs. It takes a lot of training, as Steve mentioned. You don't just get up on the roof and start throwing panels up there. The codes and requirements that we have to obey to make these systems so that they are resilient in a storm, are significant, right? We have some of the toughest building codes in the country, and so we need stable policies and predictable futures in order to plan to allocate the capital that we're going to invest in new vehicles and new employees and new buildings and stuff. And when we have this whipsaw kind of behavior at the federal level, it really does nothing to help us here at the local level, to build this industry, which can be a huge driver of economic growth, in the state, and sustainable too. So. Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone. Stay cool.
Great job. Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Recreational complex.
All right, so that was Representative Castor there, as well as solar contractors as they were speaking in Tampa, Florida. That was just one of our live events we've been sharing with you here on Live Now from Fox. We actually do have another live event that is going on right now as I'm taking you out to Washington, D.C. We were hearing from Senator Van Hollen as he was speaking, as he is still speaking right now, with fired federal workers. And what I wanted to do, as this is still a live event, I wanted to play this out from the beginning. It's all started just about 10 minutes or so ago, but I did want to get those remarks from the senator. So let's head over there a little bit on a delay and listen in right now.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, how are you? Good morning. I know you'd rather not have to be here again, but let me just say that under the circumstances, I'm glad that you are here, you and your families. And I do want to start where I always start, which is thanking you and your families for your service to our country in the federal government and the sacrifices that you made on that job. And I also want to apologize for the shabby way your government has treated you and your families. It's absolutely outrageous what we've witnessed from the Trump administration. It's also outrageous that our democracy is not functioning the way it should, where you would have majorities in Congress actually doing their job and responding to these outrages. Unfortunately, we have half of the Senate, and it's just AWOL when it comes to standing up for fairness. As you pointed out repeatedly, and I think this is the really important point we need to keep hammering home, you did important work on behalf of the American people. And even as you have suffered this these unfair attacks, you have always come and said you are also so disappointed that you're not able to do the work that you had been doing on behalf of the American people, regardless of what federal agency it was in. We were just talking about the Department of Education and the important role that federal employees there have played in terms of making sure that people have a fair shot at being able to go on to college or go on to other opportunities after they graduate from high school. And this administration is pulling those opportunities out from under people when they get rid of the people whose job it is to administer those kind of programs. So I'm glad you're here again to remind our colleagues of the injustice that has been done to you, but also the injustice done to the American people by denying the American people the benefit of your work. And we've already seen the deadly consequences around the country of people not being on the job for the American people. I mean, we've seen it when it comes to emergency relief, both on the front end, where because of cuts to places like the National Weather Service, people have not been able to get the information they should, to the fact that over at FEMA, the Department of Homeland Security, the Secretary of Homeland Security put in bureaucratic obstacles to prevent the delivery of assistance on time, to not being able to get through on the phones. Those are just recent examples of how what the Trump administration does has life or death consequences. And there's so many other examples. So I know at the end of this week, Congress is supposed to go out for the August break, and I'm glad you're here this week to let people know that they may be able to go back to their states, but there are people in every one of our states who have been hurt by the decisions made by the Trump administration. And they may be going home, but they can't hide. Because when they go home, they're going to hear from federal employees who have been mistreated, but also from people who are losing the benefit of the services of those federal employees. And it's all of our jobs to keep pushing in the courts. And, the Supreme Court has really fallen down on the job. In so many cases, they've made a decision without making a decision. In other words, they told the Trump administration, go ahead and fire people. We're not going to reach a decision on the merits while we think about whether this was lawful or unlawful, and I think it's clear these have been unlawful. While we think about it, it's okay to go ahead and fire people. So the Supreme Court has fallen down on the job. Half of Congress, Republicans in Congress, unfortunately, instead of standing up and doing their jobs, have just been a rubber stamp for Donald Trump and the executive branch. So this does come down to our communities. And that is why making sure your voices are heard here, but also other federal employees around the country are heard when people go back to their states, and the people who are losing out because of the lost services and benefits. And again, I'll just close with this. Sadly, this has largely been done in order to provide a big tax cut for billionaires and very rich people. I was just on Face the Nation on Sunday, where Russ Vought had been on before me, the head of OMB. Russ Vought said that this big tax giveaway to billionaires did not increase the national debt. It increases it by $3.5 trillion over 10 years, not even including the added interest. And then I pointed out that while Russ Vought is calling on all the other agencies and departments to take deep cuts in their budgets, he's actually asking for a 13% increase in his budget. While he's asking other agencies to lay people off, he's asking for more people in his office. So this hypocrisy is bad in itself, but it's also doing grave harm and damage to the country.
Hello, Donna. How you doing? Appreciate you for joining the stream. Hope you're having a great day.
Well, you were doing that in your jobs for the American people. Now you're doing it to help make sure that we get out the word as to the betrayal committed by the Trump administration not only to you, but to the American people. And to all your kids, thank you for the sacrifices that you're making. You're all patriots, and we're grateful that you're here. Now I'm going to turn it over to a very good friend of mine, someone I work very closely with. We served together in the House, we served together in the Senate. Peter Welch, Senator from Vermont. But thank all of you very much.
Hello, Anthony. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you for joining the stream.
All right, I agree with everything that Chris said. But, I want to start. How many of the kids all the kids, raise your hands. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You guys are special. This is a hard lesson to learn. Sometimes in life things happen that are unfair, and they happen to people you love. And what I'm just so impressed with each of you is that you're not hiding from it, you're facing it. You're helping your parents, and you're helping our country. And I'm going to tell you something each and every one of you already knows. You have wonderful parents. You have wonderful parents. And I got to say, they're proud of you. Because in the midst of this horrible event, it is unfair to them. Because as Chris said, they're doing good work. And they care about doing good work. They care that their good work is helping other people. And in a lot of cases, it's kids like you. In other parts of the world, in other parts of the country, where the challenges that those kids have in many ways are pretty severe. And your parents have that love for you, but that love they express in their work too. So it's really inspiring for me, and I know Chris and so many of us who are appalled at what has happened. Not fair at all, but that you have the strength and the love in you to help make a contribution. Stand by your parents and stand by your country. So we and many of our colleagues here are going to do everything we can to reverse what is a very dangerous direction our country is going in. And I do want to express my gratitude to the parents. It's astonishing the good work you do. And now, in some cases, it's so extreme that instead of delivering USAID food, we're burning it. It's in a warehouse, it's rotting. There are kids that are your age, your age, that are on the outside and they're hungry. And they need that food. And because of what has happened, instead of distributing it, it's getting burned. That's unfair. How do you understand that? Well, none of us can figure that out. But what we can decide is that we're going to do our best every single day, even when it's unfair, to make it right.
All right, we were listening in live here to Washington, D.C., this event that did just wrap up here. Once again, we played this on a little bit of a delay for you so you could hear these comments from the beginning from Senator Chris Van Hollen as he's speaking with fired.
It was kind of bad, people losing their jobs. Quiet one. Why are they wasting their time talking about this when we are facing facts? Who cares about jobs right now? Well, people care about losing their jobs, quiet one. Yeah, they do. Well, I think that's it, guys. I'm in the stream right here. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I have some things I got to take care of, so I got to cut the stream short. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. I will be doing the walk down today. I couldn't do it yesterday because some things came up, but today I will be back exercising. I will be back out there putting the work in. And like every Monday through Friday, the walk down will happen today. I hope y'all join me for this walk down. Appreciate you for joining me, Quiet One. I appreciate your comment. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be back a little later for the walk down. So I love and I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's been rocking with the channel. I love and I appreciate y'all. Y'all could be anywhere else, but y'all kicking it with me and giving me y'all thoughts and y'all ideas. This is the comment section where you can express your opinion. So with that being said, I see y'all on the next one. I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out. Come kick it with me on the walk down, guys. I'm out.